Today on CCX News, planning for new development. As Brooklyn Park looks to build new homes and businesses, there's a crucial need it must consider first. City officials in Brooklyn Park are asking the legislature to help build a new water tower. They say it's critical for future development plans.
We're getting to the point where our water pressures are just, we'll probably have to stop allowing development very soon until we get that water tower in there, because we just won't be able to provide safe fire support pressure up there.
A 2 million gallon water tower would cost about $12 million to build. It would be located in the city's northwest area, where there's about 700 acres of undeveloped land. City officials say the water infrastructure needs to be installed to attract new developers and build the tax base.
We really just need to offset some of that cost so that the burden of development, the cost of development isn't so high and attracts more businesses into the area.
Brooklyn Park also needs to install water mains to continue developing the area. Those are expected to cost another $4.5 million. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park police are looking for an additional suspect who fled officers following a stolen vehicle chase. According to police, an officer spotted a stolen vehicle early Sunday morning near 75th and Brunswick Avenues. The vehicle sped off. Brooklyn Park police gave chase and were able to safely disable the vehicle less than a half-mile away. 2 people ran from the vehicle, and police say they arrested the teenage driver. A state patrol helicopter and police drone were used in the search, but the other person was not located. The investigation continued Monday. The Minnesota House is officially back to a 67-67 tie between Democrats and Republicans. A newly elected DFL member representing the Shoreview-Roseville area took his seat Monday. Meanwhile, new whistleblower legislation is making headway at the Capitol. A bill authored by Representative Kristen Robbins of Maple Grove would expand protections to all state workers. It also expands who whistleblowers can report to, which would include law enforcement. Representative Robbins recently spoke on how the legislation could reduce fraud and misuse of state funds.
We have had many people come forward and want to share information with us, and they are in fear of their jobs, their careers, and they are very reticent to come forward and testify publicly or even to make reports identifying who they are.
The House passed the whistleblower bill 133-0. The Senate is currently working on a companion version. As the weather warms up, you might be thinking of springtime greenery, but past year's droughts, storms, and invasive species might make for fewer trees. The biggest culprit is emerald ash borer. Plymouth City Forester Paul Buck says we are in year 9 or 10 of the emerald ash borer explosion. He said there are still 5 or 6 years to go. In the meantime, ash trees can be treated and other trees can be planted in their place. Buck says all kinds of trees are encouraged.
This is why we've been preaching diversity, so that 20, 30 years down the road, we haven't set ourselves up for the next problem that we can't see coming.
Buck recommends waiting and assessing what your yard needs before you replant. But if you're ready and looking to refresh your canopy, Plymouth still has some trees left in its tree sale. Buck says the best time for planting in the spring is between May and June. St. Patrick's Day is a day of wearing green, Irish dancing, corned beef and cabbage, and of course, green beer. And as Delane Cleveland reports, it's also a day of big business.
Cheers! Technically speaking, St. Patrick's Day isn't an official holiday, but for the folks at Malone's Barn Grill in Maple Grove,
I just think it's a fun drinking holiday.
This so-called drinking holiday has become one of the busiest weekends of the year.
And it's a good holiday where people like to come in big groups. So we always expect to be fully staffed. We know we've got a ton of servers on, bartenders, because everyone's just kind of here to hang out.
That includes folks like Rod Celine, who got all dressed up to celebrate his Irish heritage.
It's important to me because it was important to my mother, and I'm a 16th Irish.
It's a day when everyone claims to be at least a little Irish, and Malone's rolls out the proverbial green carpet in the form of decorations and special menu items.
On St. Patrick's Day, we always run corned beef and cabbage. My chef came in at 4 a.m. today to put 4 loins in the oven just to make sure they're perfect.
All told, they expect to sell about 120 corned beef and cabbage plates.
It's wonderful. You can't have anything else.
After all, it's tradition, although not everyone agrees with that logic.
I probably am not ordering the corned beef and cabbage. I'll probably have a ham and cheese, though.
For other folks, beverages colored in green are more their speed. But as far as Malone's is concerned, the important thing is that this non-holiday brings people together.
St. Patrick's Day falling on a Monday is actually pretty good for us. Monday is a slower day of the week, but it's going to be like a Friday today.
In Maple Grove,
Cheers.
Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Finally, this segment, a local school got into the St. Patty's Day spirit thanks to a visit from Hudson Irish Dance Academy. Here's what students and staff got to enjoy at Cedar Island Elementary in Maple Grove.
It was an all-local final in the state Class 4A girls basketball final as top seed Maple Grove faced Hopkins. Jay Wilcox has highlights.
Maple Grove aiming for its first title, and Hopkins shoots for number 9 in the state Class 4A girls basketball final. Maple Grove's Jordan Odie sweeps across the lane to score 2 of her 26 points, and the Crimson lead early. But Hopkins grabs the lead. They go inside to Irma Walker for the nice move. She has 28 on 13 for 15 shooting. Malia White hits a step-back 3, and Hopkins goes up 7, 26-19. Bella Hanna drives it and then finds the cutting Kate Holmquist for 2. Maple Grove is within 4 at halftime at 35-31. Second half, and Jalea Diggs hits a 3 on her way to a 15-point, 7-assist night. Maple Grove battles back to tie it on a few occasions. Odie's pull-up jumper makes it 46-46. But it's mostly Hopkins from there. London Harris with back-to-back hoops, and the Royals are back in front by 7. Walker banks it in for a transition bucket. The lead is 11 at 60-49. White hits a pair of threes to help seal it as Hopkins wins 81-67 to take home another title. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
No team in Minnesota girls basketball history had ever won 4 straight state championships. Providence Academy was trying to become the first four-peat on Saturday night. Ches Moots has the highlights.
Providence Academy taking on Crosby Ironton in the Class 2A title game. Both teams undefeated heading into the state championship. Back and forth early in the game, Maddie Greenway finds an open Emma Millenburn from the wing. The sophomore sinks the triple to give the Lions the lead. 3 minutes later, shot clock winding down for CI. Tori Orline turn and shoot, runner good, Rangers back in front. Later in the first half, nice move in the paint from Hope Counts, 2 of her 23 points on the night. PA was still down 1 with 6 minutes to play, but the turning point in the game came next. Madden Greenway went on a personal 14-0 run. 3 steals that led to layups, 2 fast break mid-range pull-ups, 1 free throw, and 1 3 from way back. The Lions went up 10 at halftime. In the second half, more from Greenway. After a scramble, Millerburn finds a junior for another deep 3. Greenway hit 4 triples and ended up with 40 points. Providence never let up offensively. They shot 47% from the field. McKenna Schaefer knocks down a 3 in her last game as a Lion. Providence Academy runs away from the Rangers and makes history, bringing home their 4th straight Class 2A state championship. In Minneapolis, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
Benilde-St. Margaret's went on the road this year to win the Section 6 3A girls basketball championship, beating Orono on the Spartans' home court. Red Knights are no stranger to the state tournament either, having won the past 2 state titles. They look to make it 3 in a row on Saturday.
The Red Knights tipping off against Marshall in the 3A title game.
First half and in transition, it's Kendall McGee pushing the break. She hits a runner on the lane for 2 and puts the Red Knights up 8. Zahara Bishop almost loses the ball here, but gets control and hits the mid-range jumper. 29-20 BSM. Marshall keeps it close. Avery Fall hits a three-pointer from the wing. She scores 12 points in the game for the Tigers. Sydney Friedley hits a 3, 13 points in the game for her. One of 4 Red Knights to score in double figures. It's a 6-point BSM lead at the half. First minute of the second half, McGee hits for 3 in the corner, and the Red Knights lead grows to 12. Tigers, though, make another push. Again, Fall with a 3. Marshall within 5 at 41-36. That's as close as they would get. Friedley bombs in a 3, and the Red Knights are up 14. McGee penetrates into the lane and then dishes to Bishop for the easy lay-in. Benilde-St. Margaret's goes on to win its 3rd straight state class 3A title. 73-57 Red Knights the final. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.